Hi there, welcome to Granary Square. If you're seeing the building behind me, then you've come to the right place. Just going to take you on a little walk through, give you a sense of how to find your way to the Architecture and Spatial Practices studios. This term at least, you'll have to come straight there, first thing. Probably stay there most of the day, or most of your scheduled time in college, and then return back after that, I'm afraid. Not too much scope for hanging around or exploring the building, to begin with at least. Come with me now and let's go inside. So this is where you've come to, Central St Martin's. Welcome. This is the main reception area to walk through here. This is where you'll come most often, most likely. Obviously you need to check out that sign. Do not enter the building if you think you've got symptoms of COVID-19. Reception's in there, entrance through there. But to begin with, you're going to come straight through into this space. This is the space we call the crossing. Crosses right across between the buildings. And to begin with, there'll be tables here. And you won't have ID cards, you'll collect a wristband from a table here on your first morning into college, and the wristband will get you in through those gates over there. So you've come into the street, a large space between the studio blocks. To find spatial design studios, you need to head towards the first staircase on the right-hand side. Balconies give you a good view of what's going on. That will be where you queue for the canteen. And you can see the floors and the bridges between the different floors crossing the street. Let's carry on until we get to the first floor.
The only thing that they could raise about is
Here we go, round to the right, to the left, towards these doors. So the first space we have, the main spatial practice studios, are through here, as you can see. Once again, we're keeping to the left. Swipe cards. Once you've got your ID card, it opens, unlocks the door, and in we go. These spaces are studio spaces. So one of these rooms here, F103. It's one of ours. Staff offices here. And these spaces around here as well, also studio spaces. So let's have a look in this one. And here it is. Space is organized around this floor, first floor, all spatial practice studios. So there's master's studios, undergraduate studios all the way down here. As you can see, the big signs on doors saying keep left every time. So if you're looking for a bathroom down here, you can come to the end of the corridor. And if you go through these doors and to the right, there's bathrooms around there. And if we go to the other end where we came in, also bathrooms to the left. We're going to go back that way now. Exiting through the main spatial practices studio spaces, we unlock the doors by pressing the green button and pushing the door. Keeping left, of course. And we've got lockers, but those aren't ours. Through this to the left-hand side. And we've got spaces here. Big open spaces in that direction. Empty at the moment, but often gets filled up with lots of stuff, exhibitions, workspaces, all sorts of things. And that's the way to the library. Over here, we've got doors that take you into the small workshops, or small scale workshops. That's where you're doing workshop inductions and beginning to make things through those doors. But this space through here is more spatial practices. Studio space. So this is D102. D102A in this case. So let's go ahead and see what this is like. And there's 3 areas here. There's an area at this end, in the middle, and at the other end. This one is the nice view of Waitrose across the courtyard here. And you can see that, once again, exit from this space is through the doors that just came in. It connects to another studio space, but to keep social distancing working and keep the through flow working, keep us all safe, you can't go through here to exit. So if you're working in the studio space, one of these 3 areas, then exit through the door you came in at the other end. But if you're working in D102B, then you're going to have to take a journey down this corridor here and enter through the middle. Okay, so we have 2 studio spaces allocated permanently this term to Spatial Practices, BA on Monday, Tuesdays, Thursdays and Fridays, and the Masters on the Wednesday. So first year, we're in on Mondays, Thursdays in these spaces. And this is another one here. It was a seminar room, but it's now Spatial Practices. D113. Crowded in darkness for the time being. There's another studio, going to be a studio space in here. So you may end up in D113 or around the corner and through here. This is the way to D102B. And here you go. Nice raw brick wall there. But this room gets pretty chilly in the middle of winter, just to be warned. So this is the studio space on the other side of that door you can't go in and out of. Connects these 2 studio spaces together. To get into this space, you need to come through the middle door. This is D102B. It's just got roof lights at the top up there to let the light in. No actual windows. D102A has windows down towards Waitrose. So those are our Spatial Practices studio spaces. Let's have a look at 1 or 2 other things, shall we? So we're back in the big corridor that links the buildings together, the spaces together. And that way is towards the workshops, but around this way is towards the library. Behind that crocodile is the Student Union Cafe, which is open during term time. And through this entrance here, we have the libraries. Okay, we're going to go and check that out. Working space. Now you need to book. If you want to work in here, you need to book spaces in here. You can't just come in and hang around. Check in your booking here. This is the learning zone. And if you booked a space, this might well be where it is. Okay, you can see some of the desks, some of the computers have been taken out of action and the chairs removed so we can keep a safe social distance between people working. There's all sorts of facilities here. Obviously computers, printing, places where you can cut your artwork, little printing machines, places where you can photograph stuff, small models, 3D objects, set up a lighting rig. Please observe the social distancing. The red X's, or the X's on the red circles mean don't sit there, and obviously the green circles with the ticks mean you can sit there. So this is the learning zone, which is the first floor you come onto when you come into the library area. And then there's a set of stairs that take you up to where the books are and magazines. Here we are. Once again, there's working spaces up here. You can book these spaces for study in the library system. You can return books. Take the books here. This is the kind of working floor where you can make a bit of noise. And upstairs is a quiet floor with a lot more books, periodicals. You need to consult pages on the library website and the library guide before you can use the space. Unfortunately, you can't just come and hang out here like you used to. You just have to book spaces here and book your library books in advance. So let's have a quick walk through the 3D make model making workshops. Here we are. Okay. So that's your metal in there. Here's workspace desks you can work at, make models. Once again, you have to book these in advance and turn up for your allotted time. You've got spray booths in there as well. And obviously, everybody's keeping safe social distance. General purpose workshops through there. Extraction machines, drills, all as usual. And here's the wood workshop. So when you've had your workshop inductions, you can use machinery in here under supervision. And this will where you create all your models in this great space. So that was coming out of the workshops here. And then on the right, we have the Digital Fabrication Bureau, the 3D printing, laser cutting, all that jazz in there. So here we are on the second floor, and opposite Spatial Practices, the block opposite through here is where the open access computer suites are. So you can come up here and use these machines, book in advance. There's Macs in this bay, Macs in this bay, and PCs in this bay. So when we're here on site and we're learning computer applications, these are the suites we do it in for InDesign, Illustrator, Photoshop, and eventually AutoCAD. This year, I guess, we'll be doing most stuff online. But if you're in college, you can book spaces here. So here we are back in Spatial Practices main studio spaces on the first floor. You can see we've got a kind of permanent exhibition of students' models over the years we keep here. So if you've got the opportunity, come and have a look and see the amazing stuff that your forebears have done before you. So you get inspired and get challenged so you produce even better stuff in your time here. Well, that's my guide around the building. Hope you can find your way to the spaces you need to get to when you're here. We'll be seeing you mostly online, of course, when we won't have to wear the mask and you can recognize us. But in the meantime, we'll see you in college and we'll see you online.